Yes, thank you so much for making us a part of your day at 11 minutes before 9 o'clock. And what I'm going to say, you're going to hear some opinion, and it's my opinion and some other people's opinion. It's not necessarily the opinion of staff, management, and the sponsors. I spoke to a number of journalists and broadcasters over the weekend, and lest you think these are the people who indulge in fake news, which some of you like to say, you're going to find some of the voices, and one of them in particular, you cannot call them a mainstream wonk, as some of you are prone to call me from time to time. But I spoke to a number of people over the weekend and gave them a number of off-the-record and on-the-record information about what was going on with the county commission. And 201, not a one of them were shocked. Nobody was shocked about what was going on to the commission. One person even said, it's not a surprise. White Pine County has a statewide reputation of having the most corrupt government and the most corrupt public officials in the state of Nevada. And I said, even more so than the Clark County Commission? And I said, I know, that's a pretty high bar, but yes. And we have previously posted about Operation G-Sting, and where virtually everybody that was on the Clark County Commission was sentenced to federal prison. And I said, well, why has this never happened to White Pine County? And they said, well, it's a surprise that they haven't. But a lot of their stuff hasn't been on the level of a federal crime yet, but they are corrupt. And some of you who have looked at our commission and have said, well, here's the thing. It appears that the commission has already made up their mind before they even go into the commission meetings, which would lead one to think that there would be an investigation of open meeting law violation, deliberations outside the commission meetings. And some of you have said, well, you're talking to a whole bunch of people who are just big city journalists and have nothing at all to do with our current commission. And, how about Kent Harper? And a lot of you know Kent. A lot of you remember Kent from his time as his time with the Ely Times. Back when it was a real newspaper. Back when Kent did a lot of solid reporting for the Times. And, of course, Kent had a lot of support at that time. Kent had a lot of external support. And he just kind of said, well, that was the day. And this was a comment he made, and this was for public discussion. I've always advised public bodies to ignore the Nevada open meeting law. That's easy for them to do without jeopardy. All a public body needs to do is conduct all of its business in public, give at least 3 days advance notice when and where it will meet, and grant the public access to all those meetings. The open meeting law does tell a public body under what conditions it can conduct a meeting away from the public, but unless things have changed radically, it does not mandate any meeting be closed to the public. When a body announces it will close a meeting to discuss the character or wrongdoing of their employees or supervisors, the board is voting to close that meeting. It is not forced to close any meeting, even union negotiations. But finding elected officials willing to do the public's business in public is difficult to impossible. They will always tell you the open meetings law forces them to close certain meetings. That's not true. What is true is any time a quorum of a board deliberates an issue over lunch or by polling each other by phone without the public's knowledge, they are violating the public's trust. And that's when ignoring the open meeting law can prove to be dangerous for them. Now, lunch is one thing. But if they are polling each other by phone or by email or any of this, outside of a public meeting, that's improper. If our commissioners are discussing with one another daisy chain / telephone fashion, that's improper. How do you tell if they're doing that without tapping their phones? Watch how they go into meetings and all they do is vote. And that is all this commission has been doing. And a lot of people are watching this county commission. And this county commission is going to be in deep, dirty doo-doo. And the commissioners aren't going to pay for it. The commissioners are not going to pay for their improper actions or malfeasance. Who will pay? You and me, White Pine County taxpayers. And yes, I do pay taxes in this county, as opposed to what some of the serial fillators say for the county commission. Okay, Bill O'Reilly next with his message of the day, Steve Kathan at 9 o'clock, and Todd Starnes at 9:05. By the way, Bill O'Reilly has pulled his hour-long show, so at 9 o'clock tonight he will not be on, but we will have our good friend on tonight, Steve Summers, at 9 o'clock. Have a great day.
Now just go away.